Yo, what's up guys? It's Brendan will bring you a video about a concept of forward zoning and punishing your enemy. So no real intro to this. We're just kind of jump into this and then kind of talk about how this lane wins. So this is a ranked game here. This is high diamond, low masters. And this is basically a game where I was able to take all the towers in the top lane before 15 minutes. An enemy ends up FFing. But I wanted to show something that I was doing to the Wukong that basically, whenever you are much better than the enemy top laner, you can basically get this forward zoning going on, especially with champions that have dashes like Fiora and Gwyn and stuff like that, where you can put them out of the game, like completely put them out of the game. So you'll notice just initially off the break, we're looking to be pretty aggressive just because we should win the level 1. So especially on blue side here, we're able to move into Tribush and then also a little bit further as well to try and get some early trades, which are really nice. And you will notice that we'll actually get first blood here. So we're going to move all the way up into this bush here, and then we're going to wait, and then I'm going to go back through, try to get back to lane here. And then he's going to walk down. We're going to take some trades. So this is going to give us a nice little early lead. Now, what do we do with this early lead? We're going to start zoning and punishing enemy from getting any CS, basically. So, boom, first blood. So, what do we do with this lead? It's time to find out, right? So, he's going to use teleport. He's got no flash, so he has nothing. Going to be a little bit aggressive. So, this isn't going to be mainly too much of the concept. This kind of turns into me just getting a slow push going, and then I have the advantage here, so I'm allowed to go and roam. Since I have teleport advantage and flash advantage, I'm not really looking for anything but to just find out where Viego is and then possibly make him panic, maybe get a kill if I'm lucky. But this is more just to slow him down a little bit, take some time away so that Rek'Sai gets a little bit of an advantage as well. Now, once we're able to recall and get the lead, this is where we want to start pushing our lead. So we're going to obviously have a little bit of an item advantage. Big AD difference here as well, since he only has longsword. I was able to go roam and not miss out on too much. We're talking about 92 AD, 212 as you can see. And so this is where we can start to push the advantage. Now, we don't want to take any type of crazy trades when we're inside of a big minion wave. So if we're able to get any front-facing vitals like this, then we can look for something. The wave's not too big. If it was stacked a little bit further, we'd probably avoid taking trades because we don't want to take too much damage from the minions and then be kind of screwed, right? Because we just teleported. So we're looking for something. We got front-facing vital. And we go ahead and punish again. He goes for the level 4 here. I am fighting in the minion wave a little bit, but we knew that we had parry up the whole time, so now we have this 2-0 lead. And now this is where we're going to see the wave management and zone control come in. So I'm going to leave this wave, right? I don't have teleport, and neither does he. We have 4 casters that I'm leaving right here, and I'm going to go ahead and recall and get my item. And the wave should stay right where we left it, which it does. And now this is where I really want to take advantage of this lead I have. And this is what you can do with a lot of champions and be able to put your enemy top laner just out of the game entirely, basically. So we're going to go back to slow pushing. But what you're going to notice is that I don't want him to be in XP range. So let me draw a little bit here. So instead of me standing in this wave here, I want to be in front of it. And even further, if I can, I would like to be up here and actually walking towards him. So I really want to keep him out of XP range. And even though, you know, League is a long game, right? It goes anywhere from like 15 minutes to sometimes games go 45 minutes. In the laning phase, this is a little bit slower and more patient. It's a little bit slow paced, but what we're doing is we're slowly bleeding out the enemy, right? Even if it's just like one XP, 1 CS, 1 gold, whatever it may be, as long as we keep doing it over time, it starts to stack, right? So we really want to keep this guy out of XP range. So when he's standing here, he's not in XP range. XP range would look something like this. So he could probably get XP if the minions were dying right here. So if minions die right now here, he's getting none of the XP. So he's going to fall further and further behind. So you notice we have a level lead right now, level 5 to level 4. But we want to push that as far as we possibly can, right? So what you'll notice is that we're going to start standing right on this line where he has to be a little bit sketched out to go for any type of minions. You'll notice kind of back and forth. And this works really well into melees, especially a champion like Wukong or even like tanks as well. So you'll notice now that I'm behind the wave. That's where I want to be. I want to be here, and I want to be pushing him back further and further and further so that he keeps missing XP and gold over time, and it will start to add up. And I want to make sure that I'm still hitting my CS as well. So now when you see we've got this front facing vital, and I can always walk up. This is why I'm bringing up the fact about champions that have dashes as well. There's going to be a really good example here. So I'm allowed to push out really far, and you'll notice I go back, hit a minion, push him away, keep pushing him away, but I'm always watching the minions, right? So I'm allowed to do this as Fiora or any champion that has a dash or can get back to the wave, because what I'm doing now is I'm basically forward zoning. So I am now playing this zone here, and I don't want him to pass this point. And the reason I'm allowed to do that is because Fiora's got a dash to get back. So if I want to walk out and push Wukong away and keep this level lead going, he has to walk away because he can't trade with me because he'll lose the trade once I see a minion getting low. So I'm pushing forward, but keeping my eye on this minion as well. And so I have my Q that's on a really low cooldown. When I'm ready to go back and get a minion, I just Q back, hit it, and then I turn right back around and walk into him again and keep him pushing towards this tower. I would like him to miss as much of this XP and CS as I possibly can, even if it's only 2 or 3. 2 or 3 minions of CS and XP missed by the enemy every minute or 2 is massive. That's what leads to these huge level leads and gold advantages, which basically puts the enemy out of the game. So now we're walking, we're just holding this down. We're gonna slide parry back in, grab that. I do miss this right here, but I'm still getting the XP and he is not. So we can actually see from this that he is out of range. So this minion that's about to die here, right? We see his XP bar does not move, right? So he loses that, and then he's gonna lose this one as well. So we just wanna keep him, this is about the XP range right here. He could still get XP right here. So we're just trying to keep him out of that range. So we're gonna see this minion die right here as well, and we see where his XP is, right? And then this minion will die, and then he doesn't get the XP for that either. So he just misses more and more XP over time as I continue to get stronger and build my level advantage. So once we get into the place where we're like trying to shove the tower, this is where we would slow it down even more, because this is going to give me the ability to go and roam. And this is where I can put pressure on the map anywhere that I want. So if I build up this big wave, I could go invade jungle again, look for Viego, maybe a gank on Annie, anything like that. And it's very low risk. It's very low risk because no matter what, he still has to get this whole wave to push back to this tower without having any wave to use for himself while he's still trying to CS. He can't respond. Let's say we wanted to go for Rift Herald or go for an invade on jungle if I was with Rek'Sai or something like that. Wukong has to make the choice to either respond and help his team or miss out on even more CS and XP when he's already 2 levels down. So we're putting him in basically an impossible to choose situation where he has to stay in the lane and grab the minions, which gives us man advantage in any type of play or rotation that we would like to make. So here I want to be a little bit greedy, especially in these situations when you're slamming a big wave. Like I said, you can either roam, but you can also greed, right? So you can go for, and you got to be a little careful with it. You'll see a play later in this game where I kind of make a mistake. I would just want the plate and then I want to get out. So I want the plate, and he's missing minions because he had to attack me. So he's falling even further behind. Now I can walk up, and this is a little bit where I got a little bit too aggressive, right? So I had the wave, it was a big wave, it stacked, and I wanted to get this plate as well. And this is where I pushed a little bit too far. I believe it's level 6 here, and I kind of just, you know, Wukong flash, and he's got R. I missed the parry. That's my fault. That's my fault. That was a little bit too aggressive. I should have just went and did my thing, recalled, and I would have been able to catch the wave. Rek'Sai does come and catch it, so that is the one mistake that we made, and now we will never make that mistake again. So we're going to go right back to doing the same thing, where we want to cut this down and we want to force him into a bad situation. So we cut it down to 4 casters here so that it will catch, and now it will freeze. So this will put us in that same situation where we can forward zone on the wave and make sure that he misses even more. Even with that kill that he got, he is still down a level, which is great for us, about a whole level here. But, you know, if we didn't make the mistake, obviously it would be a little bit more. So we're already basically posturing for it. We want to put a ward down to make sure that he doesn't have a jungler coming to help him. And now he has to walk all the way up, right? So he has to walk all the way up to break this freeze. He wants to hit these minions. But because I have such a lead, it's really hard for him to do that when we have 1,100 more gold than him. Because we can look for a kill at any point if he makes any type of misstep. So we're going to go for that forward zoning again. We're going to try to push him away. Make sure he doesn't get XP. And you see what we're doing? We're just walking back and forth. Just keeping him pushed as far away as possible while making sure that we still get the minions whenever we can, which is contributing to this 25 CS lead as well. And also whenever somebody does try to walk up, that's where we can punish them and look for huge trades and kills. So just like we were doing before, we are just zoning him out, forward zoning, pushing him back towards his tower, making sure that he's missing any of this XP and CS. So once again, you'll notice that this minion's gonna die and he's not gonna get the XP for it. Again, no XP is given to him. So like I said, it builds up over time. This is just something that it's a good concept to understand, especially when you're playing something as aggressive as Fiora or something that's a bigger lane bully like Fiora, because she does do so well in lane. And anytime you gotta get a lead, you definitely want to take advantage of it, right? So notice how we're coming back because we don't want to miss these minions, but then we're right back to shoving them away. Right back to shoving them away. We now have a two level lead. But also, when we're doing stuff like this, he can't really respond to anything. He can't help. Now, Viego's obviously in a bad spot here. He's going to die anyways. But even if it was a normal fight, he would be pretty pressed to try to move or do anything because he's been missing out on so many minions that he doesn't really want to participate because he's far too weak to try to to want to fight. So it kind of takes away any priority that they would have on the top side of the map, especially for controlling their top side jungle and getting neutral objectives like the Rift Herald here. So even if he did respawn, he's 2 levels behind everybody. So that's what we're able to do once we get that type of pressure. Now he knows we're coming back. He's got to go, see, he's got to play scared again. He's got to play back since we've been forward zoning him the whole time. Then on this play, we do have Rek'Sai here, so we can take a little bait. We just stay here. We have parry, so it's no big of a deal. We just slow him, get the kill. And now this is basically the end of Wukong's game. So we have basically made it a point to completely starve of them of any CS, any XP, any gold. And we are at a point now where we have reached our mythic, and this is our power spike. We get Triforce. He's got 38 CS, and he's 1-4, and he can no longer play the game. So basically at this point, we can do whatever we want. So we have beaten him, we've starved him, and now we can just kill him at all times. So we just literally teleport in, and he greeds for a cannon. He's been starving for that CS. He wants that cannon real bad, so he's going to stay here and try to get this cannon. And that's why he gets punished, and then we can punish him for going for that cannon, right? He goes for it. He does get it, but he dies for it, so. And then our lead basically just snowballs out of control where it's basically unplayable. And it will be unplayable for the enemy team as well because of how big of a lead I have. So now we can start to proxy the wave. This just makes it more difficult for him to play. When you have this type of lead, especially in the top lane, you can totally push past the tower. As long as you have like a ward to put down like here or in the tri-bush, as long as you have a little bit of vision. Now I do not, and it's because I saw Viego a second ago and I'm going to see him again right here. So this is what keeps me playing on this aggressive. Also, I am strong enough to probably 1v2 as well, especially because he just used his ulti before dying. Now, but what I can do is I put the ward down to make sure that I can see the jungler. I'm in between the towers here, and I am going to force him off of these minions too. So I was forward zoning in lane, and now I'm taking that same concept and I'm putting it here at 11 minutes behind enemy tier 1 tower. So once again, he's just far too weak to trade with me. He has no gold. There is about a 2k gold difference already at 11 minutes, so I can just bully him. He has to walk through me to get to his tower, and now he's going to take a huge chunk. He has to use his flash, and now I can work with this a little bit and look for a kill still. So we're going to go there, hit another vital, walk back through, and then get the kill. And then once again, I am taking these minions from in between the tower because we see Viego fighting here, so I know that I'm safe and I can get this real quick, which will help the tempo of my recall. Also, something to think about as well is when you have such a big lead like this, there's really no point in taking the tower right now. Taking the tower for me would not be a good thing because I know that I just killed him under tower and I can dive him whenever I want. So if I know that I can dive him, I don't really want to take this tower yet because I know that I can get at least one more kill before I take this tower. None of the towers are really too low on our side, so I'm not worried about giving enemy first tower. I don't mind if my mid laner gets first tower either. It is a Kassadin, so that would be awesome if he got it. It wouldn't bother me. But instead, what I'm going to do is starve him even more. Instead of hitting the tower at all, I'm actually just going to leave this wave just like this. And what's going to happen with the wave here is that because it's a cannon, it's not going to push fast enough, and these guys are all going to group up, and it's going to slow push back to me. So not only does he die in between his towers here, but he's also missing a whole cannon wave, and his wave is pushing back again so that I can set up a freeze and do exactly what I've been doing to him the whole game. So we're going to come back to lane here. He wants to try and shove it as fast as possible, but we managed the wave really well, so he wasn't able to. And I really think that this is just more out of frustration that he even tried to do this. I'm not sure if he really thought he was going to get a kill there, but at this point, he really wants to shove the wave. He doesn't want to get froze on again. Instead, he has no real choice but to either try to push the wave or just let me freeze it. But instead, he just chooses to die, which is fine as well. And then at this point, we're doing the same thing. We're playing aggressive. We have a massive lead, almost 2 items at 13 minutes. I'm allowed to just go for this. But I know that I'm strong enough. Once again, we have a 3-level lead. I can go for this kill if I want to. So he goes in. We just parry it. And now we take the kill again. And then we can go ahead and take this tower. And why is that? Because we see Viego, right? As long as I always know where Viego is, I am fine. And I know where the mid laner is too, because I can see her, so we're good. So basically, at 13 minutes, we have every top tower gone. Every top tower is gone. We have a lead that is, I would have to stop playing to lose this game, basically, right? We have a 3-level lead, almost 4 levels on Wukong at 13. And then I think this is just kind of the deciding factor here. Now that we don't have any top lane towers, there's no reason for me to go top lane. If I go top lane, I'm just trolling. There's nothing to play for up here. Now I can start using my lead and spreading it out throughout the team and try to make a play here. And once again, we're going to be super aggressive. We have 2 items here, and I'm going to look for a kill on the bot lane. And because Wukong gave me such a lead, I'm able to just do this, basically. And there's nothing the enemy can do. This game is just very much over because of how big of a lead that I got from that top lane. And this just turns into an FF. So basically what I want to show there is just how hard you can actually put your enemy out of the game when you're a better player and you have a better understanding of the matchup. But this is really just a great video to show what you can do with a lead, especially with that early first blood that we got, and then us being able to get the second kill as well. With a 2-0 lead on Fiora or any of these snowball champions, this is what I would expect to see out of like a client that I'm coaching or anything of that sort, where you're taking your advantage and you are just running with it. This is basically the definition of snowballing. This is macro, micro, all of it all put into one, especially when you've got that wave control and then you're keeping the minions where you want them to be. You're forcing him to be in uncomfortable positions to try and play the game. And that's how you're going to slowly build that lead. And that's how you're going to slowly climb through the ranks as well, playing these hard carry top laners. Alright guys, and that is the video. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I appreciate it so much. And until next time, peace out. Love ya. Bye-bye.